If I had told you that a top Adams advisor would be found giving a wad of cash in a bag of potato chips to a journalist, that would seem absurd.
Well, in New York City, a longtime campaign advisor and campaign volunteer for Mayor Eric Adams was just suspended from her position. She handed a local reporter more than $100 in cash that was concealed inside a potato chip bag. This all happened at an Adams campaign event yesterday in Harlem, according to that reporter's outlet, The City.
The advisor, Winnie Greco, later told the city the money offer was a mistake and apologized. Her attorney added that her intent was, quote, purely innocent and a gesture of friendship and gratitude.
Look, it's a cultural thing. In Eric Adams' administration, we bribe people.
Hello, my friends. I have to come clean. I have something to hide.
So things are heating up in New York politics, with the mayoral election finally, sort of, approaching, and with Zohran commanding a dominant lead over his challengers, Mario Cuomo's son, the ex-disgraced governor, who already lost to him in the primary, Eric Adams, the disgraced current mayor, who's polling even less than Cuomo, and a Republican. Let us have a look at Zohran's latest podcast appearance to get a quick pulse of what's been happening.
So how much has Andrew Cuomo fallen that right now, currently, he thinks the best thing for New Yorkers to do is to call a demented man with muffin top cankles, bruises all over his hands, and an army of sycophants around him? I mean, how on earth is that going to help New Yorkers? And then that makes me question his judgment. It makes me question Andrew Cuomo's judgment, because I wouldn't call Donald Trump if he were the last person on the planet for advice.
And calling him not just for advice, but for help.
Right.
Because Andrew Cuomo's path in his mind is that Donald Trump intervenes in this race and makes what is a 4-person race into a 2-person race. And he does that by getting Eric Adams and Curtis Sliwa out of it, such that it's a one-on-one with Andrew Cuomo. Now, it's difficult for Andrew Cuomo to understand, but he would also lose that race as well.
You're pretty good.
He's spot on about what Cuomo is trying to pull off here. He's selling himself to Trump so that Trump puts pressure on the Republican and Adams to exit the race so that Andrew Cuomo has a chance.
A lot of people don't realize this, but one thing that Andrew Cuomo and Donald Trump have in common is an affection and adoration towards authoritarian right-wing strongmen. And Cuomo has an affection and adoration for war criminal Benjamin Netanyahu and volunteered to be his attorney. And, you know, this is really, it really rocks the conscience when you think about it, that somebody who, when you live in flyover states like we do, when you think of New York, you think of it as progressive, on the cutting edge of human rights, on the cutting edge of acceptance, on the cutting edge of tolerance. And we aspire, as blue dots in red states, aspire for that type of freedom that you have here in New York. And when I think about a politician like Andrew Cuomo representing Benjamin Netanyahu, who is killing journalists intentionally, because they're reporting on the famine and the starvation in Gaza.
That he's intentionally carrying out. So you see, he's killing them so that they stop reporting on it. And of course, Andrew Cuomo would work for this guy. I mean, why wouldn't he? He's not a socialist like Mamdani, who's dangerous because he cares about free buses and healthcare. No, he's a harmless war criminal who wants to eradicate the peoples. Free passes, though, oof, that's the danger zone.
And then I think about what it means to be an American, specifically a Democrat in American, and the value of free press and the value of human rights. And so I think that there's a lot more in common with Donald Trump and Cuomo than just the surface stuff we talked about, but this adoration and admiration of strong men that want to oppress people seems to be something that is really getting contagious in the United States, and it's really freaking me out. And that's why I think they're so threatened by you. And they're talking about weightlifting or other stupid shit Because you
I've had it with bench press.
yes, I've had it with pull-ups.
I've had it with going to the gym.
Yeah, these ladies are killing it, and they are right on the money. And speaking of money, you can tell why they weren't getting any of that sweet chorus money, because these ladies don't take their orders from the fucking Democrats. They make their own decisions, and standing behind Mamdani is a great one.
And as you've said, if we don't address this, there will be others, especially in the Republican Party, who do. And instead of blaming the actual reasons that for this this lack of affordability, instead of saying, "Oh, Eric Adams raised the rent by more than 10% on rent stabilized tenants," or the fact that we continue to greenlight more and more gas and electric, costs going up, or that we have actually increased the water bill to the highest it's been in 13 years, that all this is from city government, state government, so much of our responsibility. If you don't take that on, someone like Donald Trump will come and say, this is happening, and you know who to blame? Immigrants.
Right. Are you seeing a lot of in your internal polling data? I remember AOC that there were people that voted for Trump and voted for her. And then she did like the Instagram Live and kind of talked about it. Are you seeing that same thing where people that voted for Trump then in the primary went and voted for you?
We have.
Yeah.
And we've seen it in people that we've spoken to, and also just that the issues that people bring up, I mean, it's not as simplified as politics is often discussed at a national level, where people sort themselves into ideological camps. There are people for whom their number one issue is groceries, the cost of groceries, and they vote alongside that. And they kept hearing about it from Trump, and they heard about it from us.
Now, that was an excellent question, because it showcases why the establishment Democrat shtick / alleged strategy of tacking to the right and thus effectively turning centrist or center-right to gain more right-wing voters, something they've been doing since the 90s, is total and complete bullshit. Voters respond to a vision. Voters respond to a plan. These credits have no vision. They have no plan, apart from finding themselves in the White House. They can't even do the basics to their voters anymore. They're more likely to smugly explain to you why you can't have what you want than to actually get elected on the promise of doing it. At least Trump tells them, I will deport all the foreigners. And guess what? He's actually fucking doing it. Biden's like, I'm gonna restore the soul of this nation. What the fuck is restoring the soul of this nation? Can you use it to pay your fucking groceries? Is Chuck Schumer even fucking alive at this point? Has he done anything in the past half a year that Trump's been in power? Isn't he a leader of the Democrats? Are the Democrats a real political party? Who knows?
What do you have to say to the stereotypes that are built in to maybe what you look like, or maybe the fact that you're Muslim, or maybe the fact that you've really had moral clarity on Israel, Gaza, or the fact that you have real moral clarity about, billionaires paying more in taxes? What do you say to the people that are progressive by nature, but there's something about you that triggers this default setting of fear inside them?
Well, the first thing is I don't begrudge them, because if they turn on TV or open up a newspaper, they'll often engage with a caricature of me.
Right.
And if that's all I read about myself, I'd probably have concerns too. And it's an opportunity for me to introduce myself as I actually am, because so often the fear-mongering is so immense. I mean, I had a guy come up to me and say, I heard you're going to be the first Muslim mayor. And I said, yeah. And he said, I heard that we might not be able to buy alcohol in New York City. And I was like, who are you buying alcohol from now? A Muslim guy at your bodega.
Here's Eric Adams. I'm sure a scavenger hunt was fun for the people with nothing better to do. Ask our working families trying to do whatever they can to survive if they participated. Ask the people worried about making rent if they thought it was worth it. Mamdani is trying to turn our city into the Squid Games.
I think that's real.
It's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, this is a guy whose administration has had fun doing illegal things.
Right.
And now thinks it's illegal to have fun.
And not just illegal things, but the stupidest illegal things you can imagine, like getting bribed by the country of Turkey so that its new embassy building in New York passes its fire safety inspections. A boatload of bribes. His longtime liaison to the Chinese American community and prolific fundraiser getting caught stuffing bills into potato chip bags and passing them off to, as it turns out, the wrong journalists. That's the level of competition we have with Adams here, and Cuomo ain't far behind.
NYC will be turned into a sewer again under Mamdani.
Fake.
Real.
Wow. Where?
Fox Business.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
Shout out to my friends at Fox Business.
Oh, they hate us too.
Shout out to the corporate bootlickers at Fox Business. Anyway, great interview. The ladies are doing the Lord's work and they are killing it. Zohran is well on his way to being the next mayor of New York. His polls are looking good, and anyone who understands what it will take to take us off this authoritarian trajectory that we are all on is pulling for him. No joke this time. I just want Zohran to get elected.